Okay, my friends. So listen, I'm gonna uplift you. I'm gonna uplift you, and I'm gonna uplift people to the downtown east side, where there's money being spent, a ridiculous amount of money being spent to these societies that are supposed to promote and help addiction, people in addiction, active addiction. And actually, it's just my opinion, and I'll go, this is just my opinion. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional, I'm just a person with lived experience to the extreme. What they're doing here at the Portland Housing Society is I think is just corrupt. They've been caught stealing, taking money, going to Disneyland, partying. They're buying booze, putting it in trunks, and bringing it back and serving it to people. I just think it's wrong on so many levels. And over the past year, doing some diving deep into what's been going on. I just want to let everyone know what I found, because I think it's really important. I don't want to put bad things into people's minds that I'm a mean person or I'm trying to say bad things. I just think that people need all the information so that they can make their own decisions based on all information that's out there. And I think the information that's out there is not relative to the fact is, does anyone here watching this, do you have a family member that's been under the influence way too much of alcohol? Have you been under the influence of alcohol too much? Have you stopped? How did you stop? What did you do? Imagine being this person where you're drinking too much and you fall and you've lost everything. You have no family, you have no supports. And then the government comes along and says, oh, hey, wait a second, we'll put you in this building and we'll help you drink. Well, this is what's happening, my friends. There's a building downtown the Portland Housing Society is running, and this is what they're doing. And people need to know about it. God bless. This is my video. Please comment, please likes, please share, please do what you can to put this out, because people need to know what's going on. So here we have it here. This is the beautiful place on the corner of Princess and Alexandra in Vancouver, and this is the place where if you have a problem with drinking, so you can go here and live here. And on the first floor, just down here in this space, right behind this jogger, God bless him. Sorry you're in the video, but I didn't ask for your permission. Sorry. But anyways, just over here, that's the brewery. So they actually have a brewery there where they make alcohol. Quite interesting. This lady right here, she was inside. She came out of the front doors and she actually came through, and she just stood like right here for about 10 minutes after I done filming. I walked up on behind her, and yes, she was smoking something out of a pipe, and she obviously lives there. She's visiting someone. She just needed to go outside, just take a hoot. Maybe you're not allowed to drink or do drugs where people drink. I don't know. Anyways, check this out. It's a beautiful building. This is a building downtown Vancouver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stories, 9 stories high. 9 stories. So you just go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 times says a 90 units here, 90 units. It may be 160. I think it's a 160 unit spot. Anyways, this here is the marketing tool they use. This is the audit, like the nice place where you sit down. A few months ago, interestingly enough, these white boards that are up against the window, they weren't there. Now they're up there, so they're hiding it. And this is obviously someone lives here. This is their stuff. And there's 2 people that live in these vans here. I'm going to turn my picture off here. There's a couple of people that live in these vans here. Quite interesting. And I've had a stop in conversation with them. Quite interesting. Anyways, God bless. This is it. This is the alcohol use center that you can go drink in. Portland Housing Society. God bless you. So friends, here we go. I got Dr. Eddie Rourke. Him. He is the dude that he's basically the doctor behind the Portland Housing Society. So he has created this beautiful map to address the concerns of society where someone's just drinking too much. Like I said, you can go into this beautiful resort and you can drink with all the rest of the resorted people. What an amazing place. Throughout this YouTube video that I've went through extensively, most of them, I mean, it talks about low barrier harm reduction intervention in the continuum of AUD, care for people who have severe AUD, cannot or do not want to significantly reduce alcohol use. So these are people that just want to drink booze and be left alone. This is what's happening. So what they do is basically these people that just want to be left alone and drink their alcohol, the government's now giving money to the Portland Housing Society to build a beautiful community like this building right here. So the man behind the mask, so Dr. Rourke here, he's a Vancouver-based physician specializing in addiction medicine. Addiction medicine being, buprenorphine, Suboxone, alcohol, Labatt's. he promotes giving out Labatt's beer and whiskey, depending on what you're going in there for. So he was a family physician, the Portland Housing Society from 2018 to 2020. That's quite amazing. He working at clinics such as the Columbia Community Clinic. He's an instructor at UBC. He's a physician at Hope to Health. That's a whole other thing we can get into another time. Contributions to the managed alcohol programs. Dr. Rourke has been instrumental in shaping the operational guidance for managed alcohol programs in British Columbia. He contributed to the development and the operational guidance for implementation of managed alcohol for vulnerable persons. All right, here we go. So he spent a lot of time building this, and obviously with some other people here, but here's the managed alcohol for vulnerable populations. This is a pamphlet. It's a leaflet. It's a big book, actually, for doctors. It's a big book for doctors. Here's the authorship. So these are the people who get accreditation for being part of the thing. They did a huge land acknowledgement. Reviewed by Eastside Illicit Drinkers Group for Education. We acknowledge the BC Centre for Substance Use and Canadian Institute for Substance Use Research. We like to acknowledge the authors. God bless these people. This is the contents. Just check this out. I'm just going to scroll through some of this stuff, right? So their goal is to provide managed alcohol aims to meet the following goals: support wellness and well-being, prevent complications of severe alcohol use disorder and high-risk drinking. So people that have to apply to these programs, they already have to be at-risk alcoholics. Not so they don't use the word alcoholics anymore, right? You don't have addiction, you don't have alcoholism, you have alcohol use disorder. You go to the doctor's office now, there's no such thing as alcoholism. It's alcohol use disorder. And if you haven't been trained, we're going to retrain you, because what we've taught for the last, 60 some odd years, since 1937, since Dr. Silkworth, with psychiatrists that dealt with Alcoholics Anonymous, put together, they basically stating that addiction is a disease. It's not a mental disorder. Oh my Lord, bro. I just can't believe the stuff that I've learned in the last 6 months. Sustainability, continued planning, operational considerations. So how much money can we get to build these buildings so that we can put these alcoholics in? Care planning considerations. Oh my gosh. Their aims, their participants. Ideally suited for those who do not require or are uncomfortable accessing additional healthcare supports and are at low to moderate risk for complicated withdrawal. Do you know how long it takes? Does anyone out there actually know how long it takes to withdraw from alcohol? Like when you stop drinking and to the point where there's no more alcohol in your system, like how many days it takes? They don't want to do none of this. They want a harm reduction manager with additional people with low-income housing support. So this is about how to help people get into housing. This is about how to get people into housing. So this is the cost of the program, daily cost per client. If it depends, you could have a client that wants 5 drinks a day, 10 drinks a day, or 15 drinks a day. If you only want a client that drinks 5 drinks a day, it's $7. If you want 15 drinks a day, it's $21, cost to the government. I guess if you're just there for a couple of days, that's how much it costs. But if you're there for a whole month, 21 times 30, 639, it's about the same. Yeah, it actually costs. It's about a little bit more if you actually put someone in there for a month than a day. Here's a delivery. This is how you deliver the alcohol. Daily Daily procedures may not apply if alcohol is stored on site. Frequency of pickup, delivery, staffing, distance, how far is the building from the beer store? Transport alcohol in the trunk of a vehicle or other locked area and keep within possession at all times until delivered to the client. God help us. This is where this is the money we're giving to our healthcare system to like help people that are drinking too much. Core planning considerations, screening. How do you screen an alcoholic? This is really like, honestly, okay, so seriously, listen, this is appendix, right? Alcohol inventory control. So this is the documents that they create when they give out alcohol at these places. So date, the time, the client name, the prescriber could be anyone that works there, a dose amount, vodka, beer, wine, or, oh, there's a sign for wastage. Maybe there's a little bit of wastage because they're having a staff party at Christmas. Oh my Lord. Like, it's just, here's how you audit someone that has alcohol use disorder. How often do you have a drink containing alcohol? I mean, I'm perplexed at this. I found this yesterday. I'm really perplexed, my friends. I'm just perplexed. Do you know anyone that has a drinking problem? Dude, seriously, growing up in a small northern British Columbia town, 90% of the people that I knew grew up with had a drinking problem at one point in their time. As most people stop, but those who don't stop, unfortunately, go to a place where they just sort of like push their family away. Their family leaves. Then usually their job is taken away or they quit. And then usually by then they make a decision to choose to change. Then what happens is they go to an alcoholics, those 12-step places, and they go to a treatment center or a detox. And when they find those places, that's where they find out where the best help is. And the best help for addiction is other people that have gone through it that can support it. It's not doctors. It's not healthcare practitioners. I'm sorry, it's just not. You can't fix this, doctors. Doctors, you can't fix this. I know a lot of doctors that are in 12-step programs through the work that I've done in the past 2 decades that swear on 12-step programs. They don't swear on giving the person a little pill. Oh yeah, the pills. We're going to show you the pills that you get. Check this out. Okay, so my friends, because of COVID, what happened is they started implementing all these new things. So they shut down 12-step programs, but they allowed them to stay open on Zoom. And then what they started to do is give out medication again. So for years, they used to give out a medication that you took one pill a day, and if you drank, you would get violently ill. So now what they've done, from my understanding, is they've taken that pill and they've dummied it down. So now what happens is you take that pill, and when you drink, you start feeling a little bit anxious, a little bit sick. You don't really want to drink anymore, right? So that's what calms you down. So it stops you from drinking more than just 1 or 2. So what they're trying to do is get everybody, I think, it's just my opinion, this is all my opinion. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse, as much as I'm been working in the healthcare field for decades, and I'm only decades old. Pretty much my whole life I've dedicated to this type of work. It's just wrong on so many levels. Anyways, these doctors, these psychiatrists, let's listen to this. It's only 3 minutes long. I might skip through some. I might stop. But anyways, trust me, I'm not drunk. I haven't had a drink in almost 30 years. Facts. And it wasn't because of a magic little pill.
Cognitive Psychiatry of Chapel Hill in North Carolina. Today I wanted to take a few minutes and talk with you about a new treatment for opiate dependence and alcohol dependence. The name is called Vivitrol, and this is actually what it looks like.
It's a little box. It's just a box. This is what Vivitrol looks like. She went to school for 9 years.
It is a once-a-month injectable formulation of naltrexone at 380 milligrams. So what is this? Basically, if you are suffering with dependency on opiates, this acts as a blocker to opiates. So if you inject this, your opiate receptors are blocked, and they will not respond to taking opiates
She was so happy when she said that. They'll be blocked. Just take this and they'll be blocked.
like morphine, oxycodone, heroin, anything like that.
Blah, blah, blah.
So you are effectively blocked from the effects of opiates if you have this shot in you. So if you've had difficulty with dependency on opiates, and maybe you're sober from opiates, but you're still concerned about having a lot of cravings or concerned that you may go out and use, this can be a great treatment option because you do it once a month and then you're covered for a whole month. It does tend to help the psychological cravings for opiates, and it also blocks the receptors.
Nothing takes care of the psychological effects. When you're thinking about using, chances are you use.
So it's got kind of a twofold action. It's also used for alcohol dependence. It's a little different for alcohol dependence. It does help quite a bit with the cravings to drink, but it doesn't actually block the effect of alcohol the way it does for opiates. So if you're interested in this treatment, you're going to want to find a provider who can offer this to you in the office. It's once a month, so it's actually every 4 weeks, so you have to be pretty careful about your timing.
Yes, I'll have to be very careful with my timing when I take my injectionable shot so that I get dependence not of alcohol. Come on, man. Like, this is a medication. Like, are they just wanting to put more people on more drugs? This is the question. You have to ask yourself. Please put in the comments. I want to know what you're thinking. This is like, what is dosing of naltrexone? Like, how could you alcohol use disorder? I guess so people don't want to go to I don't want to go to a 12-step program and hang out with other people that have had lived experience to like become stronger. They can just go to the doctor and take the shot. Let's listen to what this psychiatrist has to say.
So taking naltrexone is obviously an excellent way to reduce your drinking. And it actually seems to work best in concert with working with a professional. And the professionals can really range from physicians, psychiatrists, to other therapists, to certified addiction coaches and counselors.
I could be me.
And the reason is to have someone monitor and sort of help you to stay accountable to your goals of reducing your drinking. Having another person or professional involved in that process, that in and of itself is useful and probably allows naltrexone to work better. So I'm really skeptical of companies that will send out a 90-day supply of naltrexone with essentially no other intervention or follow-up.
Well, this is what they just want to get you on the pill. They want to get you on the medicine so that they can just continue to give you the medicine, because that's the answer, is the continuum of medication, because that's how they make their money. I get it. I understand it. I've seen it. Decades of experience once again.
We call them robot pill mills, essentially. Some people like that. A lot of patients prefer that. And I think that people do read about naltrexone and they feel like it's the drug that's doing the work. Medication, naltrexone, is a tool. It's really is meant to be done with some sort of program helping you change your behaviors, understanding your behavior better, trying different strategies to drink less, all of those things. And when I talk to new members and patients, I'm like, the medication's great, but it's a tool. And we'll do everything we can to reduce your craving, to help you not drink as much. But the real behavioral change is going to take longer. It's going to be harder. So just to let people know, and this is true for everything, that the medications are just part of the equation. So with naltrexone dosing, it's really variable is the answer. And in an ideal world, and we're not too far off from this,
We're not too far off. We are not too far off from an ideal world where anyone that has a mental health dependent problem can go to the doctor and get a magic pill.
Concept of testing called pharmacogenomics.
Whoa, that's a new one.
And you may have heard of it, but pharmacogenomic testing is really common when selecting antidepressants and other psychiatric medications. So pharmacogenomics is really interesting and straightforward. Basically, you take
Interesting and straightforward. Man, these doctors just amaze me with their words.
a sample from the inside of your cheek. It's called buccal tissue. It's the epidermis inside your mouth. You scrape it, you put it in a container, you send it off to a company, then they will have enough of your genetic material to determine how you metabolize medication. Pharmacogenomic testing mostly tells us how we metabolize the medication. The information that it gives you allows you to select a medication that your body metabolizes neither too quickly nor too slowly. If you metabolize too quickly,
I'm blown away. There's just like one or two drugs that are the drug behind naltrexone and all these other drugs. Honestly, they just give them different names. There's like the main drug, and then there's all the generics. But it's all the same stuff. The compound, how they make it, is different. So I don't really quite understand what this one's talking about. But God bless him anyway for trying. Anyways, I'm going to take you to the answer. I'm a true believer in just giving people the answer. And, I'm probably going to get some shit from some of my friends in relation to this. But, there's a place where if you have an alcohol problem, 50% got sober at once and remained that way, period. Okay, that's me. I got after a few times. It took me a few times of going to some places to get that place where I needed to go. But I haven't had a drink since then because I continue to do certain things. But that's my story. Everyone has their own. I'm not going to talk about that story, but I am going to give you some information that's on the webs. It's on the internet. It's free. You can get it. Anyways, let's go over there and check this one out. So there's a place where you ultimately, when people are drinking too much, they ask their friends or the friends do an intervention and they get told they need to go to this place where a lot of other people that have had the similar experiences go. So, you can go to your doctor and you can get a pill or you can get an injection, and that's fine. And God bless it. Anybody you want to do that, you do that. I don't understand like what the doctor said. If there's a long-term system that's going to help you and it's going to the continuum of care going to help, like basically help you stop doing the drinking or stop taking the pill so that you won't drink anymore, or you're going to go to the other place, and here's the statistics of the other place. Okay, of alcoholics who came to AA and really tried, to follow the traditions of the program. 50% got sober at once and remained that way. 25% sobered up after some relapses. And among the remainder who stayed on with AA, they showed improvement. That's a statistic. I can believe in. And that comes directly from, you can go look up at Big Book and all that other stuff. I'm going to probably get in trouble, like I said, from some of my friends. But God bless. There's too many people out there that are pushing people to doctors to get the pills. And this is not the way it used to be. And I'm going to go in a little bit further and a little bit deeper into this, okay? Well, we're going to go into this. So this is a letter that was written when alcoholism was rampant and people didn't know what to do with people. They just put them into the asylums. So before this program started, they would just take alcoholics and they'd put them into the psych ward. And they called them asylums back then. And there used to be big hospitals specifically for this. And there was two guys that started this program up, and then they got this psychiatrist to basically write this letter. And here it goes. To whom it may concern, I've specialized in the treatment of alcoholism for many years. In the late 1934, I attended a patient who, he had been a competent businessman of good earning capacity, was an alcoholic of a type I came to regard as hopeless. So this is what they're talking about in the DSM, like, how far down have you gone, depending upon how far you're going to go back up. Anyways, that's a whole nother conversation. In the course of his third treatment, he acquired certain ideas concerning a possible means of recovery. As part of his rehabilitation, he commenced to present his conceptions to other alcoholics, impressing upon them that they could do likewise with still others. This has become the basis of a rapidly growing fellowship of these men and their families. This man and over 100 others appear to have recovered. I personally know scores of cases who were of the type of whom other methods had failed completely. These facts appear to be of extreme medical importance because of the extraordinary possibilities of rapid growth inherent to this group. They may mark a new epoch into the annals of alcoholism. These men may have remedy for thousands of such. So, anyways, listen, friends. This is what the Portland Housing Society started. They started off by. So the Portland Housing Society, founded in 1993, the Portland Hotel Society established in response to the growing crisis of homelessness and mental health in the downtown Vancouver. It was named after the Portland Hotel. It was a horrible, decrepit hotel that just continued to push all the drug addicts and all the alcoholics into this one section of town, and that's where they'd stay. So this nonprofit society started, and then it really it blew up in 2003. PHS helped launch the first Insights. This was like the giving people need those things, pokers for addiction, and they co-managed this place, and deeply involved in a legal battle. They kept it open. Federal government tried to shut it down. I really have to say that giving people drugs in order to solve the drug problem is probably not the right way to go about things. And giving money to a society that's run by, oh, wait a second, we got to get into this one. So one thing I know about government contracts and getting contracts and writing proposals in order to get contracts is you got to know someone that knows how to do it and knows how to we learned this about this trucking thing and this electrical vehicle rigs that these guys are building. They're building building semis for the logging industry that are on a platform of electric vehicle, and they're hybrids, and they were trying to get these huge grants from the government, and they were said, this is where you write them, and then they wrote them and they got declined, and then the government, the people that actually accept the grants and say yes or no to the grants, they actually proposed to this company that they write the grants for them at a cost of 20%. It's all corrupt. It's corrupted, and here we go, Portland Housing Society. And an audit revealed that there was funds to cover a trip for Jenny Kwan for $34,000. She took her kids and her family to Disneyland because her husband, or then boyfriend or husband, was a director there, and he just basically took the credit card and took off to Disneyland on the Portland Housing Society's funds. This is what's going on, my friends. It's a mess down there. And I hope that someone watches this can capture what's going on, because it's just a mess. People are perishing. It's like people are perishing every day. There's people down there and it's just a mess. I go down there 3-4 times a week and it's just a mess. Anyways, Portland Housing Society, you get a big fail in my books. But I will end on this. I don't like to be biased. I don't like to be one way 100%. I like to sort of sit in the middle of all my programs and all my thoughts and all my processes, because wherever there's bad, there is good. And wherever there's good, there is bad. It's just the reality of our genetic makeup. It's just what it is. They did start off by helping people, but it's just gone to the extreme. Again, I'll end with this. Why do we care more about people's feelings than we actually care about themselves, their physical, their mental, their psychological well-being? Why are we putting people in involuntary care and putting medicine in them? Why are we putting people into treatment centers where they're going to get supported and they're going to get opportunities to recover and opportunities to grow? There's hundreds of people that I know over the past 20 or 30 years. There's probably thousands of people I know over the past 30 years that I've seen that come into programs, treatment centers, that have had nothing. They came in as doctors or lawyers. I've even met judges. I met all walks of life. They've come into places, they've come into these programs, and they got it, and they took what they learned and they got everything back plus tenfold. Anyways, this video is specifically designed to help people understand that these government, David Eby and the money, he was part of Pivot Legal Society, giving out help, like help. But are they helping? Are you helping someone by continuing the drug addicted designed mechanism that you guys have created? Oh, a person's too drunk. Well, let's just give them a pill. If they're too drugged, just give them a pill. I mean, this doesn't work. It doesn't work, friends. Anyways, this is Drew Coover. I'm signing off. God bless the Portland. God bless all you societies out there. We're coming for you. We're going to let people know what's going on.